Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
Our special guest, Malissa Longo, beams aboard the podcast just in time for Holo-Janeway to bring the Star Trek Prodigy Protostar Crew to their very first Class M planet. Everyone must look out for each other because this is no routine mission, and keep an eye out on the bridge for Murf, who I think just took a
Did we catch her? Is she aboard? And is she upset? She's not upset, and we did beam her aboard. Okay. All right, re-engage cloak. Let's get out of here so we can start the show. Thanks, Dot. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending upon when you're listening to us. My name is Captain Nathan Adams, and we're here with Starfleet Underground. And if you were a Patreon member, you know we have a special guest today. And because if you're not a Patreon member, well, you're going to have to wait until we introduce him. So there. And if you're not a Patreon member, it goes back to the question, why the hell not? I mean, come on. The cheapest tier is $1. You can't spend $1 a month. What the hell?
All the cool kids are Patreon members. Just saying.
Very much so. And we do have all kinds of things for your interests. We got Tribbles. We got Tribbles being nuded. We got Tribbles eating. We have nudes of the crew that may or may not be authentic. Mm-hmm. You have to get to that tier and check out. So we have our science officer this morning.
Hi, my name is Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer reporting from the science lab. And Captain, I think all of the Tribbles went to the transporter room to say hi to our new guests. So we might have a Tribble welcoming committee. Tribble Stampede!
I could see that because our guest is beyond awesome. So we're going to get to the best last
Attack of the Killer Tribbles.
So they're friendly. They're not killer. They're friendly.
I don't know. Some of them have teeth.
Well, that's the Mirror Universe Tribbles.
Oh, okay.
And that baritone voice you heard is going to be our computer person, my number one.
I am Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy, and I'm the foreign species liaison. What's going on, people?
Yeah, and he's a liaison because he likes to lay on. So there's that. It was just a play on words. And the
next.
The guy who makes us go, who does a phenomenal job. I got to tip my hat every time we're on the show, is our engineer, our chief.
This whole show is a play on words.
This is true.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer of the show and the ship. And Captain, I got the upgrade for 007. .007. You know, it's been a little wonky lately. I got him upgraded. The new operating system, number 11. I really can't tell that there's that much of a difference. I mean, the start button was moved to the center lower region, you know, the crotch area. And it wants you to push the button all the time. For some reason, it keeps singing Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. It keeps rolling that down the hallway. You hear Start Me Up.
If you upgraded him, is he now 014?
No, he's 007.1, I think, is what he is now.
Well, as long as he's not chasing me around with the dildo like last week, I'm good. So that's fine.
You just wanted him to catch you. You know it.
No.
Ooh la la.
He likes the chase.
I'm not the one that announces to all the dots in the shower that you dropped the soap and you're bending down all the way to pick it up. So that's not me. Oh, which reminds me, this is not a show for kids. If you're a child under the age of 18,
get the fuck out.
Get out of the room. Stop listening right now. Put earmuffs on and leave. This is not for you. Go listen to some other like G-rated podcasts. This is not the podcast.
I mean, there are G-rated podcasts?
I don't know because I don't have enough time to listen to all
on
of
YouTube.
them.
That's rated G for gangsta.
Gangsta,
what?
Yeah.
For gangsta. And next, I am very proud and honored to have our guest on here, Malissa. Hello? Is she in there? Oh my God, did we not beam her? Did she? Oh, for a second I thought we missed her. Holy crap. Okay, good.
Playing with all the little Tribbles. They're so cute.
Oh, they said thank you.
There's a lot of them.
When they roll around and vibrate like that, that's them saying thank you.
And
yes. The vibrating is nice.
If Doc 007 comes up to you and he's got his hand behind his back, do not turn around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, hey, welcome aboard. Introduce yourself. Tell us all about yourself.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the show today. And my name is Malissa Longo, and I have been a Trek fan for quite some time, particularly starting with Deep Space Nine. But
I wonder why.
Well, and this is even way before I met Aaron, who, you know, is my late husband. I was married to Nog, and that was...
Nog rocks.
He does rock. Captain Nog forever.
He's the best. And anyone who went to the conventions is like, he was the sweetest, nicest, most caring person ever. He remembered everything. Like, I would tell him something 2 years ago, and then he would ask me about it like 2 years later. I mean, he was just so amazing and phenomenal and just such an incredible person.
He's the only person since my mom had died that I cried that much for.
Aww.
I never cried for anyone else as much as I did when the news hit that he passed. As Heather was saying, he was a light in a shining dark world. He was amazing.
Except every time he looks in the mirror, he cries that much.
You know, I do not cry when I look in the mirror. But he was definitely awesome. If you had a chance to meet him, he leaves a thumbprint on your soul that will never go away.
This is very true. Yeah.
The mirror that he was crying in front of was a two-way mirror, and he was looking at you. Number one, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, he likes to watch me in the shower.
He was crying because I'm so beautiful.
Oh my God.
Now I'm going to start crying. Oh my God.
Please let our guests continue here.
Yes. So what have you got going on, Melissa? What's happening in your life?
So there's lots of things going on in my life right now. I was recently cast in a film.
Ooh.
Yeah, that actually it's supposed to be turned into a series.
Outstanding.
Yeah, hopefully that's the goal. So I have been cast as Lily Rhodes in a project called Glass Stars, and it's still in pre-production, but it's a sci-fi that is female driven. Which is wonderful, and with a lot of LGBTQIA plus undertones, which is phenomenal too. So
we are here for the LGBTQIA representing right here. Thank you very much.
Woohoo! So I'm really excited about that. The script is amazing, written by Cat King, and so I'm excited to start working on that. I also have my own business called Walking Art, made by Malissa. I almost pronounced my own name wrong.
That's actually been done before, believe it or not.
It's what happens when you get around Nathan. You just start to pronounce words wrong.
If you guys get out there and look, her latest Instagram post has tree branches that look like they're dancing, little twigs, and it's quite amazing looking.
My best friend shared that with me. She's like, I thought of you as soon as I saw it. It's amazing. I love it. Nature is dancing, which I think it always does. But I've also been heavily involved since Aaron's passing in the podcast that he started called The Seventh Rule. And he started it with Sirach Lofton, Jake and Nog back together.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Ryan T. Husk produces and hosts it, and he's done such a wonderful job of carrying the torch from where Aaron left off. So it's a project that's near and dear to my heart, and I think everyone should, give it a listen and become a Patreon and all of that jazz.
Hey, don't be stealing our Patreon members now. Come on now.
Of course not. No, but I mean, there's room for more than one Patreon. So, and then we've also got this thing. It's like an online convention that started because of COVID, and it's called Virtual TrekCon, and it's free, and it was created to give a way for Star Trek fans to connect since we couldn't go to conventions physically, and then we were missing out on Vegas and what have you while COVID was going. But that is continuing, and there's a event every Sunday now until Christmas.
Cool.
They're little mini cons, so they usually run from about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to about 5 p.m. So there's always some great content on Sunday if you want to check that out. And then there's also, I know, more?
More is good.
And then there's also a new live Trek show that I'm heavily involved with, and it's all of the VTC or Virtual TrekCon team members get together every Tuesday, and we do a live show of the what's happening in Trek.
Well, with all of the stuff that you got going on, now I understand why sometimes you post pictures on your Instagram of your bedhead. You don't have enough time to do your hair. You're just running from nonstop from the time you get up with Mochi all the way through the whole day. So, yeah, that's a lot of work. And if you guys want to find out who Mochi is, you got to get on Instagram. You got to get on Instagram and look for Mochi. So, and Mochi is adorable.
Yes. Full-time mom to Mochi.
Okay. I hope we didn't catch you at a bad time when we transported you up. We tend to go real quick so the Earth satellites don't see us.
Oh, no, you're great. I'm good.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we grabbed Darnell out of the shower. He beamed aboard naked, so...
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what the dot said.
And then he took a lot of pictures.
Yeah, he did. So there's no lightning storms. We're not near a pulsar. There's nothing wrong with the lighting. So if you see a lot of flashing, it's the dot. So just be aware.
Oh, gotcha. Are those pictures available on your Patreon?
Yes, actually, we haven't uploaded the one with Darnell yet because I got to try to get all of them to fit in the frame. But that's going to be there. I got to take care of that. So, and plus I got to get Patrick to release the photos. He's holding on to them on his terminal. He said he's checking for quality control.
Just because I'm the homo on board does not mean that I'm hoarding pictures of naked crew members or guests that are male.
That's just a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Just a coincidence.
Just happens a bit that way.
Just a coincidence.
And he says, I'm the computer guy, so I should be doing it. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and move on a little bit. First off, we're going to say this show is being brought to you by not only our Patreon members, but Section 31. They keep us funded. Why? I guess they ultimately will let us know how come. But yeah, thank you. Corrections. We get any corrections? Number one.
Let me check subspace here. And no, it looks like we are once again a flawless show.
That's because
we are flawed, but we had a flawless show last week.
Even our mistakes are perfect. So there's that. We're going to go into the news segment here. Heather, I know you're working in your lab. Can you break away from the experiment for a second? Do you have any news?
I don't know. It's a timed experiment. If anything blows up in the background, I got to get going.
And I got a question for you.
Yes.
What was that slimy thing that was going down the corridor last week that kept saying, help me?
Well, I really like Murf, and I was trying to create a Murf character for the ship, but it didn't work out very well. And
that explains it.
It likes to sleep under beds. Just watch out. Check your bed. If something grabs you, I swear to God, it's not going to kill you. Maybe just, suckle on you a little bit. But
I thought it was a really animated red shirt member of our crew. Now I knew I was right.
It grabbed me the other night and I was like, what do you want? And it was like, kill me. So I was like, no, I can't do that. And he's like, then can I have suckle? So
suckle.
Gross.
Yeah, that's what I said. So what news you got for us, Heather?
I promise you will keep your toes when he suckles. So my news is Prodigy was renewed for a second season.
Outstanding. The first season's not even over yet.
I know, great. Right? That's how much of a good response they're having from it.
Nice.
It's so good. Come on.
It is. Yeah. It's a really good
I heard some bad news, though, a little bit about Prodigy, which I know it'll make you sad.
They're going to have you on it?
No. They're not going to have me on it. No. Actually, they're going to be taking a break. It's going to be a 6-week mid-season break after episode 5, which drops this November on the 18th. Right. And it's going to It's going to
Same
stop
day as Discovery season
Discovery.
1.
So we're going to be
Season 4,
jumping
episode 1.
into Discovery the same time, but it's going to stop until like January sometime, but then it'll pick up again. But it shows you just how well the show is doing. So thank you for that info, Heather. And for those of you that love Rotten Tomato scores, it's doing 88%.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's phenomenal.
Woohoo.
I think your experiment just knocked on my cabin door. I don't know if it doesn't
Don't
sound like the
answer it.
slimy one.
Put your clothes
Don't
on.
answer it. Oh yeah, put your clothes on too. Well, that's a given.
So everyone's nude while doing the show?
Not all the time.
No, just the
no.
captain usually.
Oh, okay.
I'm in my quarters
Maybe.
locked up, so
We're not one of those shows. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's comfortable and no one ever comes in the science lab, so,
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody comes into my cubicle.
So who needs clothing?
I, for one, am fully clothed. Thank you very much.
When we record later at night, it's optional.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to our next news segment. Here is Patrick. What do you got for us?
Well, currently happening right now is Destination Star Trek London. It's going on from November 12th through the 14th. So yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And by the time you hear this podcast, it will be completely over. So there.
Outstanding. Well, not that it's going to be over by the time they hear it, but outstanding that they had it. How about you, Chief? What do you got for us?
Oh, this is kind of cool. I don't know. You guys know I've worked at a Paramount theme park once in my lifetime. Like when they first started getting into theme parks, they actually had Star Trek take over one of our parks. Well, not the entire park, but they had characters running around the park. Well, Paramount's doing the theme park thing still. I guess 2 years ago, they announced that they were going to go to Kunming, China, and they're going to have a theme park there that's going to be like 643 acres.
Oh, wow.
It is $8 billion involved in the funding. Well, part of this park is going to have a themed Final Frontier area, and it's going to be all Star Trek.
Road trip.
Yeah, that's a big road trip, sir.
Road trip.
But that's cool. And they're doing all the other regular Paramount Park things. They're going to have the Peanuts and Dinotopia and Wonderland and Adventure City. It sounds like a lot of fun. Theme parks, of course, are great. Construction is not yet quite started, but their opening target date for this will be June 2024.
China, whenever they put their mind to build anything, it happens like overnight. Like you drop a piece of paper in a glass of water and it becomes a dinosaur. I mean, they're just amazing and fast.
So
and
you're saying they're
effective out
Jurassic
there.
Park?
If they have a Jurassic Park.
Maybe we shouldn't go to that park then.
Not
Well,
the
just stay out of
Jurassic
that one
Park.
area. If you stay out of that one area, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah,
Can
if
we
I
go
see
to the
Jeff,
Risa area? I want to go to the Risa land.
Ooh,
that would be good.
that would be fun.
I would
Right?
love that.
And that's
you're
clothing
gonna
optional.
and you're gonna have to come with us.
So that's why there's so many old men there. Okay.
They left the gym and they went to Risa.
I do not vouch for the fact that there may be nude optional areas in China. Just saying.
It's a possibility, but we'd have to check it out when they get finished. Keep me updated on that.
Sure.
News for myself here. Last week, I talked about the phaser rifle that was going to be up for auction.
Did you get it?
No, I did not. I was outbid.
Oh,
The winning bid was $615,000.
Wow.
Shit.
So, and that beat the last time the rifle made its way for sale was in 2013, and it sold for $231,000.
whoa.
So
Wow.
it's the rifle that has stun and kill. It's not the rifle that just has stun.
It was the one that they used in that episode with the guy with the eyes. The very first episode, the pilot episode.
Man, there is some nerd in his mother's basement who is just rich as hell and who just bought that.
You mean Jeff Bezos?
Well, I don't think he's in his mother's basement. I think he's in his own basement.
The other Star Trek pieces that went at the auction was the original Captain Kirk tunic, a pair of boots, and it was signed by William Shatner. That went for $50,000.
I wonder, did they wash that, or does it still have Captain Kirk's sweat on it?
They probably sold. That's why it probably went for $50,000.
A little bit crusty.
Because you could clone him then.
Yeah, they also
Oh, yeah.
the chair. One of the chairs from the Enterprise Bridge went for $42,500.
Whoa.
And they get original costume pieces belonging to Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelley, and Walter Koenig. And an original Tribble was also auctioned off, bringing over $10,600.
Boy, that thing must have been moldy.
Wow.
So,
what,
yeah,
the Tribble?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they used it for extracurricular activities, so it had a stink.
Wow.
It's an experience. It's an experience Tribble.
There was. And multiple techniques.
Yeah. Oh, no. It works on your St. Andrew's cross very well.
Rumor has it that the Tribbles were stand-in for Merkins on certain films. Okay, and if you don't know what a Merkin is, look it up. You'll see they're toupees for like naughty bits. Okay. That is all of our news articles that we have today. So next we're going to go into the recap of the show. And those of you that really likes Heather recaps, you're not getting it. For those of you that really loves Patrick's recaps, we're going to give you a full Patrick.
The full Monty, baby. The full Monty.
That's right. With his Tribble Merkin.
Yay!
Okay, so Star Trek Prodigy Season 1, Episode 4, Dreamcatcher, originally aired November 11th, 2021. Intro. Gotcha. There was no intro this week. Act 1. Captain's Log. Type 1 phasers. Hold on to your butt's grip handles and alien spores. Captain's Log. Stardate. I don't know. Janeway teaches the crew about some Starship basics, the most important of those being the autopilot. If our course is set to avoid trouble, we shouldn't have any, right? Maybe. Janeway informs the crew there's an M-class planet in the Holo-Jan system, and as Starfleet cadets, they have an obligation to investigate and document their findings. Dal doesn't want to, but Janeway reminds him that she'd have to report him for non-compliance. Our first away mission, yay! Zero sets them down on the planet in an almost perfect landing. Almost. They cuff Gwen in her little prison cell to keep her from running away again. Tricorders and Type 1 phasers are issued to the cadets. Jankum stuns himself holding the phaser the wrong way. Oh, you silly cadets. The Runaway, accelerated ion propulsion, titanium chassis, hollow steering, and my favorite, the hold on to your butt's grip handles. Rock is upset that Janeway can't leave the ship. It's an alien world. Who knows what could happen, says Jankum Pog. Didn't you guys ever see Prometheus? Hello, alien spores, man. No nutrients on this soil, but there's an abundance of flora. What a mystery we have on our hands. Dal takes off in the Runaway, leaving the others behind. Everyone takes off on their own. Gwen's head lights up and her armband/knife comes to life and frees her from the brig.
Sneaky.
This, again, Dal still pisses me off as a teenager, which I guess he's designed to do.
Yes.
Because he's a teenager. He's supposed to be a captain, and all he wants to do is like, fuck y'all, I'm taking the Jeep, and you guys just wander off somewhere.
I did like the Runaway, though. That sucker was cool.
It is nice. It is nice.
It is cool.
It is.
I mean, for any of you who had a radio-controlled off-road vehicle that you had to build,
ATV
can relate to one of those things, because that sucker just was flying around like nothing. Although, as an environmentalist from that side of the view, I think he was tearing up the land just a little too much.
Yeah, he was.
The entire time, I'm like, why aren't you wearing your helmet? You should be wearing your helmet.
Thank you.
Should have elbow pads, knee pads. Well, the knee pads are in Patrick's room.
Well, yeah, he has them in a monogram.
I don't need knee pads.
You have a pillow?
She's got scabs.
Oh.
What I was upset is like you left the 5-year-old, basically a 6-year-old by herself.
She's a 9-year-old little girl.
Well, 9-year-old little girl, but mind you, she's made of rocks, but still just the same.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool.
Cool.
They all split up like zoink. Where'd they all go?
Yeah, and they all take off. And leaving a prisoner, I don't care. You never leave a starship empty because somebody can jack your starship.
Yep. They just haven't been to the bad planets yet. The bad neighborhoods.
They're young.
Seriously. Now, Melissa, you would never leave your car with the Melissa, I said that. You would never leave your car with the keys in it and just leave it running and go on an away mission somewhere, would you?
No, especially having lived in New York for 16 years.
Right?
I'm like, lock everything.
Yes.
Yeah, even that's not guaranteed.
No, exactly.
No, you'll come back, your car will be there, but it'll be on milk crates.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They had a commercial one time in New York to warn people about that, where they had parked a car in a yard and they were showing somebody what can happen. And within 30 seconds, the whole car was stripped down to nothing. 2 pickup trucks came with people with power tools, and next thing you know, the car was gone.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
They had that down to a science.
Yeah, it was gone.
Dude.
Yeah, so they warned you.
It's like watching piranhas in a tank getting fed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to remember not to park my shuttle pad in that area. Got it.
Right.
No, in a really bad neighborhood, you don't want a nice looking car because it'll be gone. I don't care. You'll come back and it'd be just like in the movie The Super. The frame would be there and the alarm would still work, but there's nothing else.
That's what it reminded me of. Yes, The Super. That was a good one. That's why I don't have a hooptie. I mean, it's always good to be driving around in a hooptie because you never know. You never know.
But that's why you use the subway, because you don't need a cart and it won't be stripped.
I love New York subway, man. I love the New York subway.
Well, I was wondering, why did this starship is the most beautiful starship in Star Trek I've seen in a long time. And I'm just wondering why they actually wanted to land on this planet. Why didn't they stay in orbit and beam down? Do they not? Do they have to be of a certain age to run the transporter?
Well, he didn't know. I guarantee you they didn't know because they're not really taking time to learn the ship.
And nobody's asked, Janeway, if only there were a way to get down.
No,
they didn't ask her about transporters. Do they know about transporters? Because they've been on that slave planet for how long? Most of their lives, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
They probably don't.
Probably.
That's true. That's a really good point.
But I like the fact that Jankum Pog, as he's leaving the ship, he's like, no, I'm leaving this suit on, man. We are on an alien planet. Who knows what will happen, okay?
That. I completely agree with that.
But he was the very first to get touched by these mirages and take his helmet off and start eating the stew. He had the great start and then just completely fumbled the ball.
No, he's the only one that actually ingested the planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, seriously. Oh my God, he's going to be so gassy later.
To give you some big old indigestion.
Oh my God, the gas later on must be horrible.
The fart jokes, though, they snuck in the fart jokes because they had a gas sample all of a sudden on the tricorder. That was me.
Yeah.
Zero, that was great. Zero's like, interesting. Mine has already detected a gas sample. And Jenkin's like, guilty. Oh, the joys of being non-corporeal.
Yep.
But the one thing I want to get is that he had the full suit on and he goes into the cabin and he's like, that smells good. You have a suit on.
Yeah, he was smelling things all the way to that suit.
How
the hell are you smelling?
You're smelling things and you got a suit on. I don't get it.
Yeah.
That was interesting because everybody is like, there's a fantasy that gets into their head telepathically somehow because they're not getting hit by
good
gas
point.
because he was wearing this. He was actually sealed in the suit, and of course his fantasy for some reason he's running through the place and there's just giant green gas clouds going. His dream is like getting farted on. What's up with him?
Well, he is nasty.
Likes gas.
Them Tellarites are a kinky species, man.
Well, he was smelling the pores, and the pores had to get to him somehow. That's how he was having the delusion. So
and then he spores.
Well, whatever.
Pores are what are on your face. Spores are the little things that the crew got infected with.
I don't know. I think I want to stay with pores. I think I'm good with pores.
And he's a typical greedy person because what is he does? He doesn't look for a ladle. He uses his friggin' helmet as a bowl to start chopping.
That was like, wow, he's using his helmet as. I thought that was kind of surprising.
No one said Tellarites had manners.
The entire time I'm thinking, God, I'd hate to do the dishes after that.
Well, did he know what the food he was sampling it was?
He said it smelled like the stew on the Tellarite sleeper ship.
Oh, okay.
So it must have been like a home kind of stew, like that his mother made, or that was a standard on Tellarite. Tellarite Prime. What is it? Tellarite.
Yeah, you should know you're a liaison. So,
man, I would hate to follow Jankum in the bathroom after that meal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I think even our dots would quit.
Yeah. And speaking of shit, I thought it was hilarious when Rock was like, no, Murf, don't do that on the bridge. Murf took a shit on the bridge. Did you guys notice that?
Yes.
that was funny.
But that very well could have been that was the thing that happened. But what if maybe Murf was chewing on something or scratching on something? There's so many other different things that Murf could have been doing.
You're right. He could have lifted his leg and peed on something.
Murf doesn't have a leg.
Murf was marking.
Yeah.
Now I know what that thing is. You're trying to create Murf.
Murf would have slimed on it.
You're trying to
go.
create a Murf and you create a Murf shit.
We could nickname him Slimer.
Yes,
true.
a Slimer.
Now,
That's
again, the
And
7-year-old.
it's Teller
was it?
Prime. I looked it up. It's Teller
Thank
Prime.
you. Now, Rock Knock is what, 9 years old, you said, right?
Yep.
Now, the 9-year-old, again, shows that she has more common sense than all of them put together. Because when that bunny thing came up, she was like, you're a life form, but it doesn't show you as a life form.
Right.
And she's trying to puzzle it out, and they overload her with cuteness.
I thought,
That
well,
was
first
so
she's like,
adorable.
she's like, I found a life form. Oh, wait, that's me.
Oh, yeah, that first time, that was so.
Yeah,
But she
That
figured it
was
out,
awesome.
you know?
But right when she walks off the ship, she's like, ooh, pretty.
Yeah, she was
So
Planet.
easily distracted.
She was
That
like one of those
planet.
that would be like, oh, squishy, you know.
That planet was gorgeous, though. I mean,
Yeah.
if you guys arrived to that planet and you could see anything you want to see, like your heart's content, what do you think you would manifest?
Oh, it's too hard.
I would do puppies.
You would be puppies?
Yeah, I
Jonathan
would,
Groff,
That's
Zachary Quinto,
Wow, that's specific.
naked, dressed as Orions.
oh man.
I think I would be getting dual massages from Jerry Ryan and T'Pol.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice choice, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be so cool. I would be like so relaxed that you could pour me into a container like Odo. That would be awesome. How about you then, Chief? What would yours be?
I honestly, I kind of liked what Dal decided to do. I just probably wouldn't do it as recklessly. I'd go for a joyride in the Runaway.
That would be cool.
okay.
How about you,
Yeah.
Melissa? What would be yours?
I like that idea too. I'm thinking along the lines of Jenkum Pog though too, of sampling some lovely cuisine. But I don't know. Maybe some ocean and what have you.
I could see you getting a wish to be able to swim underneath the ocean with dolphins and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
I think I could see you
Yes.
doing that.
I think I should have been a mermaid in a past life.
Yep, I could see
Maybe
you
you
doing that.
were.
Maybe.
Maybe.
How about
Yeah.
you, Heather? What would yours be?
Oh, I already said mine. Puppies.
That's right. You did say
Puppies.
puppies.
Yeah, see, normally it'd be
Alright.
Tribbles, but we already have a ship full of Tribbles, and that's like every morning for me.
Did
So
you
I
say-
want to change it to puppies.
Did you say ship full of tribbles or ship full of tribbles?
I'm good with either.
Yeah, so am I. Oh, strangely so. Yeah, but it was cool. Again, I'm looking forward to whoever's going to cosplay Rock Talk.
Oh, their kisses are so wet.
So,
Yes.
so
That was so cute.
it was.
Oh my gosh.
It was adorable.
The actress who's
It's
playing
adorable.
Rock is just phenomenal. I mean,
She
she's obviously
is.
a little girl herself, but she is just so into this character. I mean, she's
perfect.
killing it, man.
She is perfectly cast for it, and she sounds great. I love her work so far.
Yeah.
All the voice actors are doing such a great job because Dallas is supposed to annoy me, and he really does.
And
So
Zero is voiced by
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Really?
I keep thinking it's a woman.
Huh.
But the thing is with the Tellarite, they get the Tellarite because they just like handle sparkly stuff. Like when I first started playing Dungeons and Dragons, I was a pain in the ass to the DM because I would figure shit out too quick. So he found a way to distract me. He would give me a magic item and then I have to try to figure out how it works. And for the rest of the campaign, I'm like whispering to it, I'm doing this, and I just missed everything. And they did the same thing to Zero. It's like, look, a mystery. Can you figure this out? His logic mind just shuts down.
I know. Zero's like, ooh, this is curious.
Very
That's
curious.
Curious?
Ooh, very
Ooh,
curious.
curious.
Even more curious.
Yeah.
I love the curiosity, though. I mean, that's a really cool attribute.
Curiosity killed the Zero.
Well,
It reminded me of Alice in Wonderland in a way, with all the curious
Oh,
talk and
yeah.
everything, and then you had the hedge maids.
That's
yes.
It had
Yes.
that
true.
Alice in Wonderland vibe.
It did. Yeah. Good call.
true.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, it did seem like that with him, you know, but again, it shows that the planet had ulterior motives. And I will give Dal credit. This is all one act, or do we have another act?
Oh, no, there's more.
There's more.
So, okay, I didn't want to skip ahead because I think what I'm going to say is going to wind up skipping to the next act.
Okay.
So we might as well go to the next act unless anybody has anything, because I don't think that broke out of jail yet either. So let's go on.
No, they haven't. One more thing before we go on to the next act. When they got the phasers, I thought it was freaking hilarious that they were pointing the phasers at themselves and then they stun themselves. And it's like, oh yeah, those phasers only do stun. We don't have anything else on those phasers.
Now, phaser is not a toy. You must respect it. Because I mean, he's lucky it was only defaulting to stun, because that could have been really messy. I mean, that would have been really a disturbing episode if that was the case.
We would have had some Tellarites too on the ship.
Either that
Wow.
it could have been completely vaporized. So.
They learned from the past, never give a normal phaser to a cadet.
Right? Make sure that their cadets' phasers are always on stun. Locked on stun.
Yes.
You realize that became a standard operating procedure because somebody didn't do that one day and they lost the cadet because it wasn't set to stun. So, we made to make sure all these are set to stun from now on.
We have rules for a reason.
The paperwork involved is way too atrocious.
Totally.
Well, it's kind of like the equivalent to hot coffee, right? Yeah, there's got to be a label, a warning label.
Otherwise, your crotch gets burned.
Or someone else's crotch gets burned. Or that was chocolate. That was chocolate.
Right.
Okay, Act 2. Bad, Gwen, bad. Don't believe your eyes. You may get eaten by an alien planet if you stay. Janeway tries to stop Gwen from taking over the ship, but Gwen tries to override her commands. The diviner taught her about starship mechanics, astrophysics, linguistics, information technology. Why? All to get her ready for this ship. Dal doesn't have his comm badge on, so doesn't hear Janeway's SOS. Gwen gets a message back to Dreadnought on her whereabouts. The planet shows each of our intrepid cadets exactly what their hearts desire. For a planet with no sentient life forms, who brought in the gardener to trim that maze? Dal realizes that they aren't his parents when Janeway shows up outside the ship. How can that be? Life is everywhere. Stay, 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 stay.
Yeah, that's like when I go to your cabin to visit you.
He hits her with a phaser and books it out of there. Gwyn initiates liftoff, but the planet has other ideas. Dal finds Zero and rescues them. The planet is trying to eat us. Zero is impressed by the planet. There we go.
That was interesting. It was a good thing they didn't have the doctor's mobile hologram emitter, or Janeway would have been able to go out there, and that probably would have.
You would think it's such an advanced ship that they would have had a holo emitter for her.
But they figured that there was no reason for it because she's supposed to stay on the ship as a learning tool. So
I mean, that makes sense. She's only training on the ship. She's not training, away missions or something like that.
I wonder if the planet would have any effect on Holo-Janeway, because she'd just walk out there, and if she's not really a person, is the planet going to try to trick her? She's probably just going to be like, oh, it's just an interesting planet.
Yeah, with all of the years of experience, she would have noted the problems right off the bat, you know. So, and I will give Dal credit because he was able to puzzle out
really quickly,
really fast. Yeah, that what was going on.
He has a lot of potential. He does.
Yeah, he does. It's just get rid of that teenage angst thing he's got going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of similar to Nog and how he started.
Oh, so you got a good point.
Nog didn't piss me off, though, and this dude's pissing me off. Like, I loved Nog in DS9, but this little shit, like, I want to freaking smack him upside the head.
Yeah, but Nog was a little bit of a rascal in the beginning, so... So there is potential for growth and maturity for Dal.
I'm looking forward to that because he does have the potential because he has flashes of brilliance that happens.
Oh,
like
yeah.
With that whole thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, when he realized what was going on, he's running around in the car. He's like, he's decided he needs to go find somebody else and start saving people. He does the thing that I don't know if you guys remember in Armageddon when they're on the asteroid and they're trying to drive the rover to the next person. Like, I'm just pointing this thing at the blinky thing on the screen, and that's exactly what Dal was doing. He was pointing the Runaway at the nearest blinking thing. Yeah.
He got a flash of Captain-ness because the first thought he had after he realized something strange was going on is I got to save my crew. I got to save my people.
His focus switched from himself to his crew, which was wonderful.
Yeah, it was. Except for
Yeah.
Pog, because Pog's like, why did you go save Pog last?
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. I'm like, I was flashing back to junior high and being the last one picked for the softball team.
So that was funny. And the whole thing, you see that, first off, he was like scouring down that planet. Oh my God. Like you said, he was the only one eating the planet.
He's going to have a stomach ache later on. Like, he's going to be in the bathroom for a while.
And it was trying their best to dissolve Rock Talk because it was buried in all that stuff, but they were able to shake her out of it.
Their kisses are so wet.
It was so cute.
But now, this is what gets me a little bit, and I wanted to talk about this part, because when Gwen got out of the jail with that psychically connected weapon parasite thing that she has, and she was able to reprogram everything, does that mean now that the ship is going to be coup to her as captain?
We'll see what happens, because that's a cliffhanger episode. We don't know how it ends.
Good
Because
question.
the ship crashed. Whoops.
Yeah.
But she was definitely, she was definitely,
Yeah, because she
trained
took
for
over. She was
something.
reprogrammed because Janeway was trying to do her best. Boom, once again, if I had a shiny comm badge, you better believe I wouldn't leave that shit on the console somewhere.
Right.
Why are you wearing it
Yeah.
all over the place? He
Did
just
you
leaves
see
that thing all over.
the look of Janeway when she got walked through by Gwen was so funny.
I love that they made Gwyn just an expert on the ship, how she was born and raised, and like from the time she was a baby, taught all of this stuff, how to use the ship, how to navigate it, how to get in the controls. I thought that was so interesting for her character.
It is.
Now I have a question, because we were looking at the timeline of the world. You were saying that you think this is all happening about 5 years after Voyager ended?
Right. So 5 years after Voyager came back.
So this ship was created when and at what point? Because it's such an advanced looking ship to me. If she was trained, was she trained specifically for this actual ship or just a Starfleet ship in general? Which is also interesting. Maybe it's not the Starfleet ship that she's trained for.
That's a really good question.
Things that made me go,
And why did the Diviner want that ship so badly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another big question.
I want to know what the hell made Gwen's head light up, and how does she psychically command that thing?
Head lice.
That's
Oh, so maybe they're connected somehow.
I'm thinking she's more of a Jedi now after this episode. I was bragging on one of the other podcasts about saying how much this was too much like Star Wars. And then I'm sitting here going, she really is kind of a Jedi, isn't she?
Well, she didn't wave her hand at Janeway and go, "You will give me control of the ship."
Well, that doesn't work on holograms.
No.
I thought she was related to Book from Discovery.
Yeah,
the way
connection.
he does prayer and then the way his face lights up like that.
Well, and she is kind of empathic to other beings, like Book is.
Yeah.
And she has such a language skill, too.
Wow, all three of you bring up really good points. Star Trek is great leaving breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And the other breadcrumb I was looking at the section of the show.
Will eat them, so we got to pick them fast.
A non-edible breadcrumb. Zero and the mysteries. Zero was looking at the ship's warp core in that maze of binary.
That's what Zero wants.
I don't think that was the warp core, was it? Because
he said he looked like it.
If it wasn't the warp core, it was like that extra part, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the warp core, there were two warp cores, and then in the middle was that thing.
And that thing was in the center of the maze that he was trying to figure out why it was there.
Yeah, and they don't know what it's for, what it does, so he has obviously some kind of obsession over it.
And the ship does have that third nacelle in the middle. I'm wondering if it's connected internally. I'm wondering about, I think this is a part of a breadcrumb that we need to learn about the ship too.
I would have Janeway's ear.
Well, let's call the Hageman brothers right now and demand to know the answer.
Well, they sort of kind of are going on that path because the ship is his own character. We're getting a personality from the ship as well.
No, this is true. It is a character of the show because it's really, I'm just, the way, we haven't got to the cliffhanger yet. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think we're ready though.
Are we? Because we get the rescue, we get Pog eating the planet, we get rocked hard, realizing that the cuddly wet kisses was the what you call. And
but we haven't actually gotten to the Pog stuffing his face has not actually happened yet.
Okay, then let's go ahead and jump there since we kind of jumped all in it with both feet already.
Okay, so Act 3. The planet tries to eat the protostar, causing it to crash. Stranded on a hungry planet. Dal and Zero rescue Rock. They like me, she says. They find Jankum stuffing his face with imaginary stew. They race back to the ship. Gwen sees her dad, but quickly realizes it isn't him. She tries to leave again, but the Cilia has gotten control of the ship. All systems critical. Abandoned ship. The ship is trying to take off, but the planet has a hold of it. It nearly breaks loose, causing it to crash, stranding our intrepid cadets on a planet that wants to eat them.
That whole thing where she was trying to leave and she gave a signal to her dad, so that is not cool. And the planet didn't want, she's like trying to get her best to get off there, and she knows the ship well, so if anybody had a chance of getting the ship off that planet, it would have been her. But as we all know from the first couple episodes, there's no escape pods. They're all gone because they're all got jettisoned.
That would have been handy.
Yeah, so she had to wind up leaving the ship. So it's going to be interesting.
She left the ship. She left the ship late because she saved Murf.
Oh,
that was true. Cool. There was 4 seconds to get, and she's getting into the shuttle, and there's 4 seconds till the ship shuts down, and she looks over and sees Murf, and wouldn't you know it, she went and saved Murf. I love that. Yeah. This is why I think Gwyn's got potential. I like Gwyn's potential.
Well, and there was hints of that potential even in the first couple of episodes, because she was the protector on the slave planet, and you know, she's savior protector type person had the most empathy, that took care of the people who were doing all the slave labor.
She's the good guy on the wrong team.
Exactly.
And she also realized, and she was another one that picked up really quick what was going on, because she saw her father and she's like, yay, my father's here, because that's her desire. But when he's talking about, I'm proud of you.
That was really disturbing to me. He's like, I am so proud of you. You're not my father. I was like, oh, wow, that's messed up.
It's like she knew right off the bat. It's like, my deepest desire is to have my dad be proud of me, but I know there's no way in hell he would ever say it.
My Gwendala.
Yeah, so when that happened, she knew right off the bat that something was wrong, because I love
the way they had the vines creep over the person's image and create that sinister monster kind of thing.
Children of the corn type stuff,
right?
Yeah.
That was really freaky. But now that they're all together, now we get to see they're gonna have to work together to get to the ship.
Stranded on a planet that wants to eat them. Hello.
Yeah, on the hungry planet.
They're gonna have to figure out that it's through teamwork is the way they're going to get off the planet. They're working together.
Not to bang on poor Dal again, but he's driving us crazy. When Gwen comes in on the shuttle and does this amazing crash landing, and the first thing he says when he opens the door, he runs up and gets to Gwen. First thing he opens the door is, are you all right? No, he didn't say that. He said, you stranded us all. What the heck's wrong with this guy? I mean, this woman just took a horrible shuttlecraft crash, and he opens the door, and my first thing would be, are you okay? Is everything all right? What happened? No, he says, you stranded us all. What a asshole.
But she did strand them all.
No, Dal is a dick. No, Dal is a dick.
Yeah, that's why his name begins with a D.
Exactly, right?
You know, but he's a punk teenager. Oh my God, if you guys met me when I was a teenager, you probably would have thought the same thing, because I was, oh man, I won't even go into the stuff I used to do. I was a sarcastic male slut, so that was just really, really
Captain.
bad. Yeah, I was not pretty. I used my Jedi mind tricks for evil back then.
Wow.
So, but again, it shows that people grow and they learn and they realize things, you know.
No, you just got fat and old and no one wanted to get with you anymore.
No, is that I came across...
number one.
I came across an evil female mind Jedi person, and she screwed me over really bad and knocked my head for a loop, and it made me sit to think, is this how I make other people feel when I do that? And it's like, wow, that's really fucked up. And I changed.
That's empathy.
Yeah. So it made me really realize it's like, that was wrong of me, because she treated me like I treated other women.
Like a piece of meat.
Yeah, no, it was worse than that. So I had a moment, as they would say, a come to Jesus moment. So yeah, and then I stopped doing it. I became a different person that day. But yeah, I'm hoping to see Dal have that moment because I think him and Gwyn would work well together.
Well, and they were already kind of friends before they left the other planet. So
yeah, and all of a sudden he's become a dick about it. He's like,
Well, you bring up a good point, Melissa, because she was the one that gave him fruit.
Right.
And protected him from being tortured.
Right.
So, and he forgets all of this?
Right.
Being a captain's gone to his head. And his 8-inch mohawk.
All the power.
And his big ears.
So do you guys know what the lesson for this episode was?
I did,
Rely
but
on your friends.
I watched the ending, the thing with Janeway at the end, a little
teamwork
extra.
makes the dream work.
Yeah, look out for your friends is the lesson.
Look out for your friends. Yep.
Yeah, that's why we all look out for one another.
Yeah. I really love that these have lessons.
Oh, yeah. It was interesting that this was kind of like the last thing Janeway got to say to everybody as they're just running off to the planet already. She's like, should have been the first thing she said. Okay, guys, first look out for each other. And then they probably just would have vanished. And where'd they go?
You say it in order of importance. You don't leave the most important thing last when everybody's running off.
Yeah. You know what? I think these kids wouldn't pay attention still.
The most important thing was keep your pants zipped.
Well, yeah, that's pretty important.
You don't want some alien venereal disease.
No.
Yeah, these kids are way too young for that.
Crabs don't discriminate.
Oh my God.
The captain, he knows.
That's horrible.
I mean, the planet only wanted to eat them. What if it wanted to do something else to them?
Right.
Well, it wanted to eat them.
like in Prometheus, the alien spores infect you and you become pregnant and you give birth.
Wow.
So that's what they were doing.
That's some hardcore
That's what they were going to try to do.
I thought I saw a video about that, like a Japanese, what do they call it? Hentai or whatever? Yeah.
Oh, hentai?
Yeah. The tentacle thing.
With the mirror of shame.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting when they get to the ship again, because Janeway was rebooted basically and acknowledged Gwyn as captain.
I wonder how dented up the ship is too. Because it didn't look like a smooth landing. Maybe it landed in the one puddle they have on the planet.
And what's going to happen if the diviner gets there and if he lands on the planet? Will it affect him, giving the crew enough chance to escape?
What would he be? What would the planet show him? Interesting.
Isn't he trapped in his little pod, though?
No, he came out of his pod at the end of episode 2.
No.
When they left, he was in this thing.
He was still hooked up to stuff, though.
No, he wound up putting armor on. When they went to show him on the ship, he had some sort of armor he had put on.
Oh, it's like a spacesuit, but with water in it.
Yeah. So he had some sort of armor and stuff on. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. And if I'm wrong, we can have something for next week's correction. So there's that.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
With the ship crashing down on the planet like that, and then the planet trying to eat the ship. It sort of reminded me of Discovery season, I think it was season 3, episode like 1 or 2, where they crash into the ice planet and then the ice tries to kill them.
Oh, yeah.
The parasitic ice,
Yeah, it sort of reminded me of like that episode.
This is why I'd like to keep the ship in orbit and beam down. Or take a shuttle pod.
This is true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because this planet is sentient. It seems like.
Yeah, and every show where the ship lands, it's not a good idea. The Voyager landed and the Kazon took the ship.
Right.
Discovery landed and the ice tries to eat it. When the Enterprise crashed into the planet Enterprise D, it also crash landed and the saucer section hit.
Yeah, it was a bad landing. Yeah.
So every time you're right, Chief. Stay the fuck off the planet with the ship. Just stay in orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that sucker in orbit. Keep the engines hot. Get ready to get out as soon as you can.
Seriously. There was a shuttlecraft on the ship. Hello.
They could have replicated one in like 10 minutes.
This way you can always go like nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yes. Thank you. So it's basically the equivalent of people who back their cars into parking spaces so they can leave quicker.
Oh yeah.
Be ready to go.
And it's safer too because you can see what's coming to the left or the right rather than blindly backing out.
Well, if you can't figure out how to work your mirrors, a
lot of people don't.
Or turn your head around and look out the back,
Oh my gosh.
Well,
turn your head around like Reagan.
They're still young and still learning.
So this is true. And with
they are not Starfleet cadets. We have to remember that they are not Starfleet.
And Rock's age slowly. So I wonder if Rock Talk has been 9 years old for like 900 years.
That'd be cool. Be a kid at heart for a long time.
I mean, she's a big 9-year-old.
Yeah, she is. But she can fight like really well. So there's that too.
She's so badass.
She
I
is.
love her. Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's one of my favorites
adorable.
too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Melissa.
Melissa.
That's what I said. Melissa. Oh my God. Melissa.
Yes.
Make one.
Oh, yeah. I'll try and find the time. Yes.
Make one. And if you do, the first time I see you at a convention, I will buy it because I have not sitting on my computer table right now.
Oh, little noggin.
So, yeah. She does great stuff. Do yourself a favor. Just look for her on her Instagram. Tell her your Instagram is what? Tell everyone.
It is Malissa. Malissa. Yes, there are 2 S's, which confuses everyone. It's not Melissa, it's Malissa. And the last name is Longo, Longo. Malissa Longo.
So find her on Instagram, buy her stuff, and if you have money left over, become a Patreon member of both of us. Might as well. But yeah, this is normally you get a cliffhanger on a show at the end of a season, and they did us dirty.
Yes, they did. I was worried for a second. So we do get the next episode next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was worried that we were going to have to wait till after the first batch of Discovery or whatever, because like, oh no.
We get to see what happens next, but who knows? That one might end on a cliffhanger too.
Oh my God, I hope not. We are going to get a little bit of advance information for the new season of Discovery. I was confirmed for the virtual premiere.
Yay.
So I'll be able to see.
Me
so
too.
you get your RSP? Good.
Yes.
So we're going to be able to report on the show, but not much because we don't want the Section 31 coming taking us.
Ooh.
So that's going to be a good thing. So we'll be able to report, and we're looking forward to the new season of Discovery, which has more Tig. I said that right?
Yes.
There's going to be more of her in season 4 because she's awesome, especially when in Army of the Dead. She was hysterical.
I love her.
I love that woman.
She's just amazing.
Love her.
So she's going to be on the show. And if we have the season premiere, if you know, all you got to say, Melissa, is if you ever want to come back as a guest, just shoot us off an email, contact Patrick and say, I want to be back again. We have her back.
We'll have you on for an episode of Discovery season 4 for sure.
Sounds great. I'm down.
Yeah, because you were a fun guest. I mean, the Tribbles said, did you smell nice and everything?
Well, thanks.
So, which is awesome.
You know, so we've had a couple guests who just like, we had to decontaminate the room afterwards, you know?
Yeah. It was
Consider the people that the Tribbles regularly hang out on the ship as us, and then any visitor is going to smell a little bit nicer.
Well, this is true. Wait, what the hell did I step on? What is that? Oh my
Tribble
God.
poo.
Get the fuck off my foot.
Uh-oh, it's suckle time.
It's on. Oh, get away. Oh my God.
love the captain.
I'm going to call Heather.
Tribbles, they're a friendly
Get away
bunch.
from my- I'm sorry about that. Get away.
Yes, and remember from Discovery what they look like when they're naked?
Oh my God.
The hairless Tribbles.
Oh.
Just a sack of meat.
Oh.
Now, Heather, please get another voice for it because it's going, yum.
Well, it likes your toe jam.
So no, this is not one of those nail salon places where they got the little fish to eat your skin off your feet. So this was a good show, and I really get off my foot. It was a really good show, and I really
I'm on your way, Captain. I'm on the way to your quarters. I'll help you.
Wait. Where's my pants?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, put pants on. Jeez.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on board. Did anybody else got anything to say before we start wrapping up?
Nope.
About
we don't have a name for next week's episode yet either. So it hasn't.
What do you jump the gun and you tell me before I can ask you? Damn it. You took away my one pleasure.
That's my mission in life.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And would you like for us to beam you back exactly where we picked you up, Melissa?
That would be wonderful. My stomach's growling, so.
Do not let Heather fix you anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Trust me,
no.
that is not something you want. You will be in sick bay for a month.
I just made coffee for her.
She's in memory alpha as the only person that could effectively ruin replicator food for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
She can make water bad.
But I got coffee for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's in that? Your water.
Yeah, she burns water.
If you start hallucinating later, Melissa, you know why. It was Heather's coffee.
I'll blame Heather. Yeah.
So thanks everybody for listening. And if you're here for the premiere, hi you guys. We have some regulars that always show up for our premiere. So thank you very much, Dom, Pimpin' That Ho. And we have another regular because I've been missing some of them.
Yeah, but I can't remember their name.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
When you're listening to this and you hear her say that, feel free to admonish her in the chat. So our premiere usually will spring off on Monday, sometimes Tuesday. Remember, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, as well as Apple Podcasts. So give a listen. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and notify. So this way you can tell when we're starting off a new show. So thank you, everyone, for listening. And we look forward to hearing from you. Well, we won't actually hear from you, but from seeing you next week. Feel free to reach out to all our social media accounts, which Chief will go ahead and get that as a tie line. So remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.